We've been all over the world, and our championship leads us to the streets of the Principality and the streets of Monaco for the final round of the WorldSimSeries Porsche Street Cup. It's been an interesting season, a lot of fights and a lot of different circuits. We started out in Bathurst, went to Baku, then to the streets of Long Beach, and then the Barcelona city circuit, with Macau being our second to last event 2 weeks ago. And this is our grand finale, and this is where the championships will get decided. Milashauskas ahead of Bonavicius and De Marco in the Cup AMs. Then in the Cup Pro-Ams, it's Jofert ahead of Venuti. And then Ramach. Venuti does have a tiny little chance to take the title here tonight, but not big opportunities. Would need to outscore Jofert by 21 points. Actually, by 20 points would be enough. And then in Cup Pro Plus, it's Gubarevs ahead of Mendeles and Molodan. And because of the drop rounds, we do know that Gubarevs loses 12. Mendeles did skip around, so he doesn't lose anything here. And that means it's a tighter battle with pretty much whoever finishes first getting the title. As we tick down in the qualifying session, 2 minutes to go. Sendersky at the top of the leaderboard, ahead of Mendeles, ahead of Gubarevs, and ahead of Jofert. Jofert in the Pro-Am provisional pole position. Sendersky, fantastic lap with a 1:31.978. And then the AMs, it's Frisa on provisional pole. But a big lap from Sendersky, and maybe not as expected looking at the whole season. We're maybe expecting a Mendeles-Gubarev straight fight for the win here, but Sendersky doing a good job, and purple again in Sector 1. He's on board with Gubarevs. He's warming up for what should be the final attempt in this qualifying session. And I'm joined, as always, by Laurinas.
Hi Gustas, hello everyone, welcome to this final round. We had a very exciting season. I was not expecting to have such a huge participation on the street circuits around the globe. All 6 rounds took place on circuits which are usually regular road surfaces, and they are temporarily closed for some racing action. Of course, in the virtual world you don't have to close anything, but the tracks represent the real counterparts. And it's definitely quite hard to drive here, and well, I thought that most of the guys will skip this championship, but it looks like the organizers have definitely found something that works for everyone, and well, this is going to be a very fascinating season finale on the streets of Monaco, and right now it's the most important part of this evening of the race. You need to qualify as good as you can. Not a lot of overtaking opportunities. I think this track offers the least possible places to overtake your rival. Meaning you have to be very good at qualifying session. Matas Mendeles currently second. He's though back in the pit lane, as Sendersky, I think, went just a bit faster as Venuti set the fastest first sector, but he's already also back in the pit lane. The biggest shocker, is it a shocker? I think it is, yep. The qualifying session for Gubarevs is done, and he's only 6th on the grid in the overall standings. What about the Pro Plus class? I think that's P5 for Gubarevs, or is it 4th? Maybe it is P4. Yep, P6 overall, 4th in the Pro Plus class. The fight is on in the Pro Plus class.
Big lap from Sendersky, massive lap from Sendersky. There's nobody even close to him. I mean, 4 tenths ahead, actually 5 tenths, almost 5 tenths ahead of everybody. And then everybody's within a tenth of each other pretty much all the way down to P8. Then we start to see a little bit of a bigger gap, but everybody's kind of in line. Sendersky with a 31.8. That is one hell of a lap, and maybe a little bit, dare I say, unexpected? I mean, we didn't see him be that fast throughout the season. And this is something really, really special. The lap that he managed to put together, well, in Monaco qualifying does matter a lot, in F1 at least, but not as big of a decider once we get to cars like the Porsche Cups, since they're much, much better at being able to follow someone close behind and being able to overtake. But you still have got to have quite a bit of bravery to make a move round here. Pole position and then goes to Sendersky ahead of Mendeles and Venuti. Pole position in the Pro-Ams ahead of Dotartas. Then comes Kovalevsky, Gubarevs, Jofert, Frisa, and Frisa is pole position for the Cup Ams. Asp, Shetikas, Lapo, Marco, Azikev, Singh. And then comes Milashauskas, Balash, Frisa, different Frisa, and Sarma, Bolson, and Aufschneider in last position on the grid. So 20 cars for the final round of the Porsche Street Cup Series. It's half an hour that these guys will get a chance to battle it out for. And obviously titles on the line. Big pressure on the line as well. Sendersky gets ready to go. First pole position for him of the season and a big, big step up to what he had before. Let's see if he can continue this speed throughout the rest of this race. 5 lights are on, and we're go for the final race of the Porsche Street Cup as everybody roars down into turn 1, the Saint-Devote corner, and getting through relatively cleanly, not seeing too much happening behind. Everybody's double file through there in turn 1, and it's going to be difficult up the hill because there you really have to go back into single file. And now through the casino section. Casino on your left-hand side. As a whole big slide from Mendeles behind. He's trying to put pressure on Sendersky immediately from the word go. Gubarev's still down in P6, so no improvement for him since the start of this race. And lots of cars going side by side into the hairpin. I think Setkas losing a position to Jofert there. The Pro-Am car. And now into the tunnel.
Yep, they are on cold tires, so that's why we see some outbreaks of the drivers taking wider lines or some back-end traction loss, traction loss for the drivers like Mendeles. Someone has been off the racetrack cutting the chicane. I didn't catch up with whom it was, but definitely one car has went straight after the tunnel. Tires are cold, drivers are hot. This is the final round of the championship. Everyone knows that it's gonna be a very difficult task for them to make overtakes, and there's Jofert on Frisa.
Big move. There's a little bit of door banging, but just about gets through. Frisa's gonna have an opportunity back down into Saint-Devote to maybe try and do something here, but I don't think that's going to happen. And an opportunistic move, but you really have to pull these out at Monaco if you want to make moves. And through Raskas there, that is a very, very good opportunity.
Jofert under pressure, Gubarev's under pressure from Jofert. Jofert kind of has an edge here. He looks to be flying around the circuit on cold tires. He managed to overtake Frisa. He's now all over the back of Gubarevs, who by himself is losing a bit of time to Kovalevsky. While Jofert is in the Pro-M class, Kovalevsky is the direct rival for Gubarevs, and his main rival, Matas Mendeles, is currently second, but he's, looking at the results as they are now, If Matas Mendeles finishes second and Gubarev finishes fourth in the Pro Plus class, I think Mendeles should be taking the crown. Gubarev definitely knows that. I think Gustas will correct me if I'm wrong with those calculations, but I think that's what we had before the race, a situation in the battle of the Pro Plus class. If Gubarev finishes fourth and Matas Mendeles second, that championship title should go to Mendeles. Otherwise, if Gubarev finishes third and Mendeles second, then it goes to Gubarev's.
Yeah, but really here, Mendeles needs to try and go for P1. That would be the safe option here, because Gubarev just needs to get past one more car to put him in a position to make, to be in title, in provisional holding of the title. So Mendeles really needs to make that move. If Mendeles is first, well, nothing else really matters then. It's all about, for him, to get to the front, but Sendersky, for now, doing a great job. Already almost a second to the front as they head into the tunnel once again. Mendeles behind Sendersky and still losing time as they get into that braking zone. Sendersky really going over those curbs, really cutting it close with track limits through there. And Gubarev's right on the back of Kovalevsky. He's got an opportunity here to make that move. Kovalevsky behind Venuti as well. So getting slowed down in some parts of the track. Gubarev's gets super close here, and it's going to be a difficult move to make now into Raskas. He had to hold back maybe just a little bit. Would have had more of an opportunity to make that move. He's going to have to wait one more lap pretty much. Raskas looks like a good overtaking opportunity around here into the hairpin as well.
Yep, we've seen some moves by Joffert. Of course, it happened on those colder tires. Joffert knew that back then. And, well, he didn't wait for too much. As soon as he saw the opportunity, he took it. Now the drivers are on warmer tires, meaning that, well, they can find the grip a bit easier. And it's harder to make a mistake because, well, I think your rival needs to make a mistake for you to get a chance for making a move here. But Gubarev needs to stay as close as possible to Kovalevsky, put that pressure on the shoulders and wait for that opportunity to open up. And I think he's doing quite a good job here, even though running fourth in the Pro Plus class, he's losing the championship as it stands. But I think he's driving wise here. Still 24 minutes on the clock. He just needs to be safe rather than too risky. But I think we will see some moves from Gubarev's, definitely, at least a bit later on into the race. Because he should know that, I think the driver should know that he needs to finish at least third if Mendeles decides to finish off this race in P2. Yep,
We'll see if he can make that move somewhere. As if he's got that pace. Sendersky has settled into the lead. That gap staying quite similar at 8.9 of a second at the front. They've gapped everybody behind. Dotrta sits third overall. He's about 4 seconds max. So this is good news for Mendeles that even if Gubarevs can get through those guys in front, there's not really that much of an opportunity for him to get forward and catch up because the gap's so big already. And down the inside goes Frisa into the inside wall, and then obviously smacks the outside wall into this part of the track, into the Mirabo hairpin, and smacks the wall, and that is position loss. This is Kovalevsky getting super duper close to the back of Venuti. These are obviously different category cars as well, so it's a pro for Kovalevsky and Gubarev's Pro-Am for Venuti. While the car is the same, they're racing for different points. So So for Kovalevsky, it doesn't really make that big of a difference. It does make a big difference for Gubarev still behind, because he needs to get forward. Still stuck behind, not finding much opportunity, and now he's got pressure from behind from Jofert, so he doesn't really have that chance of backing up and trying to get closer with momentum and getting the overlap somewhere. He's now kind of boxed in, and this is the kind of issues you put yourself under sometimes. He got super close to the back of Kovalevsky, wasn't able to make that move, and a little bit of a lock-up, but it's probably one of the better parts of the track to lock up if you don't hit the wall, because there's not that much of an opportunity to go and be overtaken. Gubarev's thought about it.
Yeah, he's ready.
Showed his nose, but not really an overtaking opportunity, especially when you don't have that overspeed. Once again, he got caught behind through Casino. He got caught on the back and really couldn't do anything there on the exit. Didn't have the overspeed, didn't have the momentum through the exit. Flash of the lights, but I don't think that's gonna change anything for Kovalevsky in front. Look at how much he can gain on the brake, so he's definitely quicker. Really, he needs to back off here and try and get a run through into Raskas.
Speaking about
he is on the back.
Speaking about raw speed, so in the pre-qualifying session, Kovalevsky was 3/10 faster than Gubarev's. In the qualifying session, Kovalevsky was also just a bit faster than Gubarev's. Not by 3/10, but by 700ths of a second. Well, I'd say Kovalevsky does have, or should have, the edge of pace advantage, but we are in a race now.
Oh, Gubarev's, he's getting desperate. I don't think Kovalevsky has the pace advantage right now. I think he's definitely under pressure as Jofert shows his nose, maybe thinking of going to the inside there. That's not going to happen, but Gubarev's made that mistake into turn one. He's got a gap now, finally. To the car ahead. Now he can maybe try and do something. Oh, a little bit of contact. Jofert hits him in the rear, but no harm there, really. It's going to be all about what can Gubarev do. Can he get that run either out of the tunnel or into Raskas? Those look like the best overtaking opportunities. Mendelis already 2 seconds back from the lead of Sendersky. So for Gubarevs, this is really championship-defining positions here. He needs to get past if he wants to take the title.
It's all in his hands, and you can definitely see that he understands that quite good, that he needs to make a move here, not vice versa. And that's what he's trying to do on Kovalevsky. Kovalevsky, again, I think he tried to go on Venuti, and look how much time he lost here. Well, he didn't lose a lot, but he was looking at the inside of Venuti. Gubarev's lost those couple of tenths. Now he's trying to regain them. Look, Jofret already 1.3 seconds behind Gubarev's. It's very easy to make a mistake. Remember those barriers surrounding the circuit. If you abuse them too much, you risk to get incident points, which might result in a drive-through penalty, but also you risk to damage your car and forget any chances to finish in a better position. Matas Mendelis, I think he kind of settled down now with the position he's at, 3.5 seconds behind Sendersky. He has a safe gap behind him, and, well, everything is in the hands of Gubarev's now, unless Kovalevsky or... unless Kovalevsky makes a mistake.
Yeah, but it's really more in the hands of Gubarevs. Gubarevs needs to do something. I don't think he's got the patience here to just sit back and wait. The more pressing issue for Gubarevs here is if Kovalevsky gets past Venuti up in front, which he's on the back of him and putting pressure on him for sure, that might make the situation much more difficult as Gubarevs goes wide once again. Kovalevsky is on the back, but not able to make the move just yet. That's good news for Gubarevs, but Kovalevsky putting pressure on the Pro-Am car. In theory, a less experienced driver. So maybe more susceptible to mistakes, but looking from the back of Venuti, doesn't look like he's making too many mistakes right now.
Well, Venuti is on his own race. He's currently second in the Pro M class, 2.1 seconds behind Dautartas. Dautartas is doing a very good job here this afternoon, looking for his first win, I believe, in this championship in the Pro M class. And, well, Venuti doesn't want to let it happen. He has this big tail of 3 cars following up him, but he's also on a mission to try and at least stay as close as possible to Dautartas for his own race.
I think in his scenario, he's less looking at Dautartas ahead. I think that's an opportunity gone. I mean, the gap's pretty big. It's more about, right now, he's got 2 great rear gunners in Kovalevsky and Gubarevs, separating him out from Jofert, who's the next Pro-Am car that could try and take that second position off of him. So right now, in a brilliant position, because he's got 2 cars behind him that both don't want to give up positions, especially Gubarevs, who's the gunner there, protecting from Jofert. So really, it is in the interest of Venuti to not let these guys pass. If he does, then he's in direct battle with the Pro-Am car behind. So all about strategy.
Kovalevsky is currently 4th in the championship standings. Molodan is 3rd. Both drivers finished 5 races in this season, but I think, well, Kovalevsky is currently 3 points behind Molodan, but if he'll finish in the position that he's currently at, I think he's looking at a good chance of finishing the season 3rd in the overall standings. So that's why it's also very important for Kovalevsky to finish in that position that he's at. And that's why he's definitely not going to be an easy cake to be handled by Gubarevs.
Yep, for sure he would get up in positions. I would even probably guess that he would get up in positions if he was behind Gubarevs, but I don't think he just wants to give that position up. Because right now, he's holding on well. It's clear that Gubarevs isn't making his opportunities here, and at Monaco, you really do have to create those opportunities yourself, unless you wait for a mistake. But 15 minutes in, these guys haven't really made any mistakes. Dautartas up in front, and he's under no pressure from behind, even though Venuti has closed in quite a bit this lap, so maybe a mistake somewhere, and Venuti has given himself some room from Kovalevsky there as well. And a little bit wide out of the final turn there, and this is going to be the best opportunity that Kovalevsky has had throughout this whole race, but he's going to go to the outside. I don't really think that's going to work. They're going to go in side by side. This opens up the door for Gubarevs, but they're going to go side by side up the hill, and Gubarevs really will have to back out at some point. He does, and now Kovalevsky needs to look at protecting that inside from any crazy move, but he does, and he should be safe into the next hairpin as well. And it looks like he is. It's all about the Grand Hotel hairpin now. And still no move being made, so safe there. Jofert has dropped back to 2 seconds behind this pack, so something has clearly happened to him. Venuti lost some time in that little battle up into Sandoval. And back to where we were. Gubarevs tried something. I think Kovalevsky was very optimistic, thinking he could get something done into turn 1 on the outside. Gubarevs outbrakes himself. But yeah, for sure, Kovalevsky very optimistic that he could get a move done around the outside into turn 1. Didn't happen, and has to stay behind and was under pressure from Gubarevs there.
I mean, Venuti made a mistake through that final corner, so he didn't have enough of straight line speed here. So, well, Kovalevsky didn't have a lot of choices.
Tried to either stay behind or go to the inside. I think outside is so risky there, because it doesn't ever turn unless you manage to somehow get all the way up this hill into Casino. It doesn't ever turn to the inside. So really, you're hoping you can outbrake someone, and it's not that big of a braking zone. So maybe staying behind, trying something to the inside, forcing a mistake, or forcing a defense and trying to find something on the exit. It's probably the better opportunity there, rather than trying to do something to the outside. Mendelis already 6 seconds back, so where has this pace from Sendersky been all this time, all this season? Because he's putting in a performance which we saw from Gubarev's, for example, in the beginning of the season, where he just gapped the whole field, left no chances for anybody. This is a pretty similar situation here, as Sendersky has gotten way out in front.
Yep, looks like Matas Mendelis doesn't have a nice pace here on his own on the racetrack, making some mistakes. I think he's done here with the battle for the win. Oh,
tried something, didn't work, it was too tight, and that might just be his championship done here. We didn't see what really happened on entry there, but it looks like he just went for a gap that was always going to close, and now Gubarev's down to P8, possibly some damage there as well, and a big gap to P3 in class.
Yeah,
he's for sure.
He's still 4th in the class, but he's now 8th in the overall standings. And how much did he lose? That's about 7 seconds to Kovalevsky, and 2 cars now in between himself and his main rival in this race. Mendelis can now breathe easily and well, just cruise around the circuit. 10 minutes remaining, so 1/3 of the distance. His main rival has just made a huge mistake. Well, he tried something. I mean, he didn't lose anything because the position that he was at that moment wouldn't have changed anything in the battle of the championship. And well, it hasn't changed after that try. So I think at least he tried, you know. It didn't work out, saw the gap, it was a bit too tight, and well, Gubarevs will try to do something about it at this moment.
So for Gubarevs, this is a difficult race here. Sendersky still sitting fast. Where has he found this pace? There's nobody even close to being able to match him. He's the only car in the 31s. He's found something around this place, and some drivers do. And Gubarev's now pushing. He's got clear air for the first time in this race, but he'd have to put in one hell of a comeback to try and do anything here. Big way behind the leader. And big way behind this little battle here for Kovalevsky. Now, it's not that important to get past. It doesn't change anything for him in any of the standings. Maybe just nice, and a nice statistic to get through here. And Sendersky, well, he's still putting up that pace. And really, you could say Mendelis doesn't have the pace. It's more that Sendersky has incredible pace that nobody's even coming close to him, because Mendelis has gapped everyone else. He's put 7 seconds on Dotertas behind. He's safe in P2. Problem is, P1 is quite far away, but he's still in that good position. He's still got enough for the title here. Be interesting to see what kind of pace can Gubarevs come up with now, as he's in to clear air. This is a battle for Cup AM P2. It's Azikev and Setikas for 9th overall and P2 in the AM class. We'll see who can get that position. Gubarevs is really putting that gap down. He's on a mission. He's catching up. He's got 6 seconds to get back on the rear of Kovalevsky.
I don't think that's doable here, but well, it's nothing that Gubarevs can do now, just stay on his own pace. We'll see how it goes, as he will find himself all over the back of Frisa shortly.
Yes, if he makes the move this lap, I think he still keeps his hopes just a little bit alive, because he's turned up the pace here, but he has to make the move this lap. If he gets stuck for just a little bit longer, I think he's done for here. And he's really pushing. You can see it jumping over the curbs, almost hitting the wall there on entry, and actually lost some time. He's definitely pushing. Senderski another fastest lap of the race. If Gubarevs would be able to drive at the same pace that Senderski is right now, I think he'd maybe even have enough here, but the gap's coming up and down just because of the nature of the circuit. And a little bit of a mistake from Frisa there, and Frisa actually just lets him through pretty much. Felt the pressure from behind. So now, Gubarevs, 32.8 last time round. Is that an 8? Yep, 32.8 last time round. So not the quickest lap. He's a second down to the race leader. But I'd be more interested in what kind of pace he's running compared to Kovalevsky, because that's your battle there. And a little bit, Kovalevsky was slower. And on lap 14, he did lose a second. So really here, Gubarevs needs to find that pace, needs to find the low 32s.
Yeah, but look, Kovalevsky is already ahead of Venuti.
Oh, he got past Venuti. Okay,
yep.
so that's, yeah, that's going to be pretty much you have to wait for a Kovalevsky mistake, because Kovalevsky now has got his sights set on Dotartes. He's made one move. Question is if he can make another one and actually get a Pro Plus podium. Senderski, not surprising, another fastest lap of the race, 31.8. He's running at least half a second quicker than everyone. That is just incredible. I don't know what he's found here, but really, I think he'll be one to watch for all the other WorldSimSeries championships coming up, and the next special event coming up as well. The next few events will have the new Ring Freaks GT3 Premium Championship and the Ring Freaks Daily Championship on WorldSimSeries, with new GT3 cars on the platform. So you can be excited for that, and I'm sure Senderski, after his performance here today, will definitely be excited. Kovalevsky hunting down Dotartas. This is actually pulling Venuti with him together. Azikev, I think, got past Setikas here.
Yep, for P2 in the Cup M class. I think Setikas made a mistake somewhere on the circuit. You could see Azikev clipping one of the curbs on the racetrack and losing the traction of the car, but managed to get a hold of it. He's now second in the M class and looking
actually,
for
we were talking about Kovalevsky gaining a place. It's actually Senderski who's going to rocket himself up into third place in the championship, because Senderski was actually just 1 point behind the drivers ahead, and he's going to rocket all the way up to third, provided that he holds on. Joford's going to win Pro-Am anyway, and Milashauskas... Yep, Milashauskas will win Cup Am. So there's not really any battle left here, and Senderski, with his performance here today, he's going to rocket from 5th to 3rd in the championship standings.
Good results. Yes, you've mentioned already a lot of new classes in this upcoming season. So the Premium GT3 Series, the Premium Ring Freaks GT3 Series, happening every second week starting from September 21st. Then there's going to be the Daily Ring Freaks series, where you can battle your rivals and rank up the order. And there is going to be one special event, 29th of November or something like that. Well, at the end of November, there's gonna be a special event run by the name of Ring Freaks, Nürburgring 24 hours. That's gonna be 29th of November. You can find all the information about the new, fresh, upcoming series if you just give it a go to the WorldSimSeries.com platform. And if you like what you see here on the screen, you can definitely be a part of it and maybe run for the next championship name. The new series will feature the, well, freshly baked GT3 cars with all the upgrades. I'm talking about the AMG GT3 Evo, Audi R8 Evo 2, and so on. Lots of manufacturer cars. Actually, a very nice add-on to the Assetto Corsa platform. You can find that on the WorldSimSeries platform. And not only try out the new GT3 cars with upgraded physics, I believe, but you can also become a part of championships like these.
As we get to just about starting our final lap of the race, Sendersky, he's put in one hell of a performance, almost 14 seconds ahead of second-placed Mendeles as Sendersky starts the final lap of this race. Mendeles is going to cross the line. He's pretty much backed out of it, looks like. He's running in the low 33s. He doesn't really need to take any risks here. He's far enough ahead of any threat from Gubrez. He's far enough back from Sendersky that he's really got no chance of doing anything here. Gubrez sideways onto entry into turn one. He's got Jofert in front of him, but that will not change his situation at all. It's all going to be about where the next Pro Plus car is, and clearly it's way too far ahead, and Kovalevsky actually maybe even trying to think about a move for P3, but doesn't need to take big risks here. That won't change anything in his championship standings. As through the swimming pool chicane comes Sendersky, and into the final few turns of this lap through Raskas and into the final turn. Sendersky, well, that is domination represented here. He takes the win in the final round of the season. And Mendeles is going to come out the final turn. He should take the championship here, and looking at his lights flashing, it looks like he does. Kovalevsky not able to get through on Dotartas, and he's going to finish in P4, but P3 in the Cup Pro class, and that puts Gubrevs down into P4. Not enough to take this title at the final race of the season. Jofert will take the win in the Cup Pro Am Championship, and Milashauskas will take the win in the Cup Am Championship battle. But a Cup Pro Am race win for Dotartas there, as everybody comes across the line to take the checkered flag for the final race of this Porsche Street Cup Championship. Well, somebody goes into the
Yep, that's a drive-through
penalty.
Yep, for Asp. And Singh also
unfortunately, this race was very difficult, clearly, to overtake for the drivers. Maybe more difficult than what was happening in Macau. As here's Singh.
Yep, also, he also has a drive-through penalty, but that's not gonna work because this is the final lap of the
Well,
race.
he missed the pit entry anyway, so that won't really help him.
Yep, Asp still received a 60-second time penalty. Singh has also received a similar penalty. That's a conversion of the drive-through that has not been taken during the course of the race. They received the penalty at the very end of this final race of the championship.
Yep, so championship done. Mendeles takes the win in the Cup Pros. In the Cup Pro-Ams, it's Jofert and Milashauskas in the AMs. And in terms of race results, it's obviously Sinderski, Mendeles, Dautartas who takes the win in Pro-Am. And in Cup Am, it was Frisa taking the win, P8 overall, ahead of Azikiev and Setka. So brilliant final of this season. And we'll for sure be excited for you to come back and maybe even race yourself in the Ring Freaks GT3 series coming up. So have a look on the WorldSimSeries on the socials and on the website to figure out what you can race next. And obviously, not only these premium events, but also the daily races on WorldSimSeries as well. So we'll see you next time, and good night.
The next time it's going to be this Thursday, by the way, because we'll have the grand finale of the Conspit Mazda Championship, I believe. I don't see it listed, but I think, yep, that's going to be a private event. So this Thursday should be the grand final of the Conspit regular season. With drivers battling out for phenomenal prizes. So that's when we see you next time. And for today, have a good night and see you soon. See you soon. I'd say we will hear you soon.